Absolutely, and I also share the same enthusiasm as the other panelist. In fact, before I jump into the AI part of it, if you look at purely the numbers, I think in terms of the number of patents that have come across from India over the last 7 years, it's been almost 6x growth. If I talk about startups, especially in the areas of AI tech, the cumulative value of all the IPOs done in India have surpassed done in US for the first time. If I talk about the innovation which is done in India compared to global giants like Twitter, we have Who in India. If you talk about fintech, we've got RuPay, Bheem, UPI in India. We've got one of the only countries where we're talking about 10 minutes deliveries using platforms like Zepto. We have some of the largest super apps in our country like Tata and Jio, which are now going to be taking on Amazon. So I think it's fair that the overall optimism we share is not just on a 30,000 feet level, but on the ground as well. We see innovations happening that support and reinforce that belief. Coming to specifically emerging tech, which includes AI, ML, IoT, distributed ledger technology or blockchain, and metaverse, which includes mixed reality, we believe India is actually now at the vantage point of some of these innovations because at the scale and size at which India operates and the level of diversity we have, only using technologies like AI we can actually deliver those experiences. If I talk about 10 minutes delivery, logistics is one part of it, but purely from automation and autonomous decision making using AI can actually make it possible in a country like ours. And I think not only at the execution level from a practitioner's perspective, but I think a lot of investment also needs to go into for young people to actually learn these technologies because it's of no use to build such scalable platforms around AI ML, which the end users are able to use, but we don't have a sufficient pipeline of talent pool and skilled manpower available to do it. And I think in that tone, the work which is done by Niti Aayog under Atal Innovation Mission, and they have collaborated with Vigyan Prasad to create Atal Tinkering Labs in schools and in colleges. I think it's an amazing, feat. Last point I want to make before transferring back to you is while we look at these technologies, one of the most important parts, and I think which is also the theme of this year's National Technology Day, which is going to be in a couple of days, is science and technology for a sustainable future. And I think the whole covenant of environment, social and governance or ESG is extremely important because emissions from all these emerging tech like AI, ML, and blockchain accounts to more than 6.5% of global emissions. And this will only increase to 10 to 12% in the next 5 years. So while all is hunky dory and rosy when we talk about these technologies, the effect and impact it has on our environment, on climate change is extremely important. And we should also keep that in mind while we are painting this rosy picture.